start the video. Welcome to yoga this evening, and for those of you practicing with us at home, welcome. We will have the opportunity to use props. If you have a block or books at home, you might want to grab some if you think you will need them in your practice this evening. I did bring some here for those of us that are in person. We're going to start on our backs, so if you want to find a comfortable position to lay down, it can be constructive rest where the knees are bent and the feet are wide apart, or you can have the legs straight. If the feet are wide apart, let the knees fall in on each other to offer some support. This might be more comfortable for those of you with any low back issues. Let the eyes rest opened or closed. Take some moments here to tune in to yourself, settle into the practice. We'll be here for about 5 breaths before we start any movement. Let those breaths be long. Inhales in through the nose and out through the nose. Two more breaths here, maybe setting an intention for your practice. Your intention could have been just making it here on your mat tonight, so if that was it, you've made it. My intention as of late is to just trust the process. There's a lot of uncertainty and I can only do it so much in my situations. On your next inhale, maybe reach the hands up overhead, stretching the arms, taking the legs straight for a big full body stretch. And then draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big hug. You can rock side to side, back and forth. Letting the low back get a bit of a massage here. Taking a hold of the knees, we're going to arch the low back just a smidge, just where you can feel some space between your back and the floor. The knees will fall away, your arms might straighten. And from here, we're going to take big circles. You come out with the knees and then in. Hands can be on the knees or maybe on the shins, depending on how big your circles are. So taking the knees in separate directions out and then coming in and then back down. Continue to circle. And then we'll circle in the other direction. Feeling the low back rock as you draw the knees in and arch as you draw the knees out. Drawing both knees into the chest, we're going to hang on to the right knee, place the left foot on the mat. The knee can be bent or the leg can be straight, personal preference. Find where you're most comfortable, and then we're going to hold that right knee, pull it into the chest, and then as you exhale, take it out to the right. And again, you can play here with arching the low back to see if that changes the feeling in the hip. It should bring the femurs more into the socket, your thigh bones. Let the face be soft. On your next inhale, draw both knees back into the chest. Circle twice one direction and then twice the other direction. Holding the left knee into the chest, we'll take the right foot to the mat, knee bent, or right leg to the mat, knee straight. Hug the left knee in, and as you exhale, open the knee to the left. And again, decide if you want to arch the back, letting the back come up off the mat. Integrate the hips into the acetabulum, the little socket for your hips. Continue to breathe. Next, inhale, draw both knees into the chest. Plant the feet flat on the mat. We're going to set up for a few bridge pose. Your arms can be beside you with the palms facing down. Maybe you bend at the elbows with the fingertips pointing towards the ceiling. Press down through the inner arches of the feet. Spread the toes so that the feet are equally engaged. And on your inhale, press up through the hips. Press down through the shoulders and the arm bones. Maybe walk the shoulder blades underneath. Relax through the sit bones. Try not to squeeze the glutes. And as you exhale, slowly lower the hips. Moving with your breath, inhale lifts up into bridge. Press down through the feet, down through the arms. Exhale, slowly lowers. 2 more times with your breath. Keep pressure through the feet. Pressure in the arms, pressure in the back of the head, lifting the chin away from the chest as the chest rises towards the chin. The next time you inhale and hips lift, pause for 4 breaths. Long inhales, long exhales. 4 breaths is just a suggestion. If you need to come down sooner, feel free, lowering the sit bones to the mat first. Pressing down through the feet, down through the arms, reaching with the kneecaps to the opposite, to the front of the room. And whenever you're ready, slowly lower the hips. Draw the knees into the chest. You can rock side to side, back and forth. Move however you need to. We're going to make our way onto hands and knees. You can rock up and turn over. You can rock up, place the hands, and then put the knees into their place. Spread the fingers wide, line up the wrist underneath the shoulders, line up the hips over the knees. On your inhale, let the heart drop towards the floor as you lift the tailbone, lift the chin for cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, lift through the back of the heart, find cat. Move with your breath. Inhaling finds cow pose. Exhale finds cat. Keep the arms active here like there's a beach ball between them and you're squeezing in on that beach ball. Keep pressing down through the index knuckle, keeping the arms engaged. 2 more rounds with your breath. The next time you inhale, find yourself in a neutral spine. We're going to take the right leg up and back behind us. Toes can be on the mat. You can lift the toes off the mat. Flex the foot wherever you are. Press down through both hands and reach through the lifted heel. Your belly button pulls in towards your spine. You can stay here or option to take the left bicep beside the ear, reaching forward. Lengthening through the heel, through the fingertips. Feeling the spine get longer as you reach. 1 more breath. Next, exhale, all 4 meet the floor. Inhale, left leg lifts. Flex the foot, toes face the mat. So make sure that pinky toe is not pointing out to the side. We want level hips. Reach through the lifted heel. Press into the floor with your hands. Maybe take the right bicep beside the ear. Reaching through the heel, through the fingertips. Belly pulls in and up. Finding that balance of effort and ease. Exhale, all 4 meet the floor. Big toes together, knees as far apart as you'd like. Sit back on the heels, find child's pose. You can walk the hands forward, reaching with the heart. Bring the forehead to the mat or to a block. If your forehead does not reach the floor, bring the floor to you. Maybe press into the hands, set the seat back a little further into the hips. From here, we'll take a side stretch on your inhale. Reach through the fingertips, lift the heart. As you exhale, walk your hands to the right. Reaching with the left hand, you can place the left hand on top of the right. You can also place the left hand on the floor and reach the right arm along the low back. Reaching the right arm along the low back will allow you to twist if you drop that left shoulder and look over the right. It's just an option, not a requirement. On your inhale, reaching back through center, walk the hands, lift the heart, get long in the spine, and as you exhale, take them to the other side. Reaching with the right hand, maybe you place it on top of the left and let the heart sink towards the floor. You might take the left arm around the low back and let the right shoulder sink towards the floor for a bit of a twist. Continue to press back into the heels with the sit bones. Nice side stretches here, opening the lungs. Slowly walking back to center, we're going to come up through hands and knees. Tucking the toes, we'll find downward facing dog. If downward facing dog is not feeling like something you'd like to do today, it's important to note that everything we do from here can be done from hands and knees. So take the variation that suits your level today. Let the heart melt towards the floor. Relax the head and neck. Press down through the heels. Your legs don't have to be straight. We just want to relax the heels towards the mat. 2 more breaths here, pressing into the palms like you're going to press the mat forward. Lifting from the heart to the hips, pressing the hips back and then the heels down. Nice job. And whenever you're ready, we'll make our way to our hands. You could slowly bend the knees and tiptoe to the hands. You might take a big step, or if you feel like jumping today, have at it. Belly goes towards the thighs. Reach the chest and heart for the toes. Relax the head and neck. Your arms can rest on the mat or maybe on a block if it doesn't reach the mat. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Resting here in our forward fold. On an inhale, we'll halfway lift. Hands come to the shins or the thighs. Draw the heart and the crown of the head forward. Reach back with the hips. As you exhale, refold. On your inhale, hands come to the hips, bend the knees, slowly lift to standing. Hands can come to the heart, or you can find them at your side in your mountain pose. Coming to the top of the mat, ground down through the feet. We want to press down through the big toe mound, lift and spread the toes to get to the pinky toe mound, inner and outer heel. Feet should be about hip distance width apart, which is your hip points. So find your hip points, or maybe a couple fists between the feet is a good distance as well, as that's about the distance between your hips. From here, we want to activate the legs. So think about engaging all the muscles. And a good way that I like to do that is lifting up on the quads. You can see the kneecaps lock into place and pulling out at the hips, like you're going to separate the mat apart with your feet. You'll find that the legs really fire up. Shoulders will draw back. Crown of the head lifts high. Active mountain pose here. Sometimes in our mountain pose or samastitihi, we just kind of stand here and not activate the legs. You can make this pose really active and your legs can get really tired really fast. Keeping the engagement here in the legs. Inhale, reach up. As you exhale, press back through the thighs as the heart comes forward. Find a forward fold. Is the engagement in the legs still there? Inhale, halfway lift. Draw the crown of the head forward. As you exhale, refold. Inhale, press down through the feet to rise to standing. Reach up and out. Maybe look up And as you exhale, bring the hands to the heart. We'll move through that 2 more times with your breath. Inhale, reaches up. My voice is just here to cue. Fold on an exhale. Halfway lift on the in-breath and refold on the out-breath. Root to rise, press down to reach up, lengthen. Feel the spine get longer. Hands to heart. Reset, re-engage. Next in-breath lifts up. Exhale, folds. On your inhale, halfway lift, crown of the head reaches forward, hips reach back. And then fold once more. Press down through the feet to rise all the way up, engage. Hands come to the heart or to the side, mountain pose. We'll add on from here, moving through a vinyasa. It's going to be a little different than what you normally find in a flow class. I have a different option tonight rather than lowering to the belly. You can take whichever option you'd like. Inhale, reaches up. As you exhale, heart comes forward, fold. On an inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bend the knees enough to plant the hands. Step back to downward facing dog. Spread the fingers wide. Let the heart sink towards the floor. Lift the hips high. One more breath here. On your next inhale, we'll come through hands and knees. Exhale to child's pose. Heels back to the hips. Inhale comes back through hands and knees. Tuck the toes. Find downward facing dog. Bending the knees, look between the hands, step or hop or tiptoe, forward fold, top of the mat. Halfway lift on an inhale. Refold on an exhale, leading with the heart. Next inhale, hips reach up, lift up. Hands come to the heart, to the side, mountain pose. Keep moving with the breath. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. And as you exhale, fold, plant the hands, downward facing dog. One breath in, next exhale out. Your inhale comes to hands and knees. Exhale moves through child's pose. Coming back to hands and knees on an inhale. Downward facing dog on your exhale. 2 breaths here, pressing into the hands, checking in. How does your body feel? Are you still honoring your intention? On an inhale, take the right leg between the hands. For a lunge, we're going to drop the back knee. Your hands can be on blocks here on either side of the knee. Draw the heart forward. Maybe you bring hands to the thigh. You might bring arms beside the ears. You can keep this really active by tucking the back toes and pressing into both feet like you're going to squeeze the legs towards one another. But at the same time, see if you can bend into that front knee to release the hip flexor in the front. Next, exhale, hands come down, hips will shift back, finding half split. Again, you can be on blocks here. You can have your hands on your hips and just be here. Lots of variations and options for what you might feel today. Bend into the front knee. Plant the hands. Step the foot back to meet the other for downward facing dog. Switching sides, we'll take the left foot between the hands. Drop the back knee. Setting up just the same. Draw the heart forward. Maybe bring the hands to the thigh. You also have the option of bringing biceps beside the ears. Tucking the toes, squeezing the legs. More active in this pose. If you're feeling more passive in your practice tonight, let the hips sink, let the back foot relax. Breathe. Hands come down. Shift the hips back. Find a nice hamstring stretch on that front leg. You want the belly to go towards the thigh, the chest and heart towards the toes. We don't necessarily need to reach our forehead to our shin. That oftentimes causes you to round in the back. Slowly walking the hands back up. Plant both hands, left foot meets the right, downward facing dog. You have the option of taking the vinyasa to child's pose. You also have the option of pressing to plank for the standard vinyasa, coming onto the belly. Planting both feet, lifting the heart for your back bend. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Both moves take about the same amount of breath. So it's your option to choose what you feel like doing today. Moving on here, we're going to step the right foot between the hands. Drop the back heel, setting up for warrior two. So in our foundation, we want the right heel in line with the left arch. Both hands can come to the hips. We want to check out the feet. Your right foot, you want the long edge parallel to the long edge of the mat. You don't want the toes turning in. Take that knee towards the left pinky toe, or the right pinky toe, excuse me. Press into the outer edge of the left foot. From here, hands can reach out. Keep bending into that front knee. Pull the belly in and up. Take a gaze over the front fingertips. Breathe. It's always good to maybe squeeze the legs towards one another. Feel all the muscles engage and fire up. Can really work here. As you exhale, both hands come down. Step the right foot back to meet the left. Downward facing dog. Option to stay here. You always have the option to flow. Take whatever you need. Leave what you don't. Somebody comes in here and sweeps up our mess when we're done, right? All those things we leave on the sides of our mat. Your next inhale, the left foot's going to step between the hands, coming up for warrior two, setting up the same foundation, heel to arch alignment. Bring the hands to the hips. Maybe reach out. Check the front knee that you're bending in and going towards the pinky toe. It's an outer rotation of that left thigh. Press down into the right foot. Keep both legs active here. Breathe. Nice job, everybody. One more breath. As you exhale, hands come down. Step the left foot to meet the right. Downward facing dog or movement. What feels good to you today? Nice. Coming back to warrior two on the right side, we're going to add on to that pose. Step the right foot between the hands. Drop the back heel. Windmill the arms up. Find your foundation. Find warrior two. From here, we're going to move to Parsvottanasana or side angle. I don't think I said that name right, so I'm just going to call it side angle. I tried. Forearm comes to the thigh. Your top left shoulder rotates open, so you want that rotation to come from the belly and then the ribs. Left arm can reach straight up, or maybe you reach the bicep by the ear, fingertips come towards me. Press into the outer edge of the left foot, reach through the left fingertips. Feel the whole left side open up. Next inhale, use that left hand to reach back to warrior two. We're going to flip the front palm, reach up and then back, lengthening on the right side of the ribs now. Finding reverse warrior. Keep bending into that front knee. As you exhale, both hands come down. Step the right foot to the left. Find where you need to be for 3 breaths. That could be movement. That could be child's pose rest. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. On your next in-breath, the left foot steps between the hands. Coming up for warrior 2 on the opposite side. Setting up, the most important thing is your feet, your foundation, the legs. Reach with both hands, bend into the front knee. Find our side angle. Forearm meets the thigh. Press the forearm into the thigh to lift the chest and take that right shoulder back. Arm can reach straight up or towards the front of the room. Nice. Press into the right foot. Reach with the right fingertips. Feel the whole right side open. Nice adjustment. Breathe. Next inhale comes back to warrior 2. We'll flip the front palm for reverse. Reach it up beside the ear and then lift the ribs away from the hips to find your side stretch. Beautiful. Breathe. Next exhale, hands come down. Left foot meets the right. Downward facing dog. Or vinyasa. You know what you want to do. We'll meet in child's pose. 3 breaths when you get there. Use this as time to reflect, to check in. One more breath here. On your next inhale, if your hands are not reaching forward, reach them back forward. We're going to come back to downward facing dog. Take your time. For downward facing dog, we settle into our hands. They're what's on the mat. And then our feet. Reach from the heart to the hands. And then from the heart to the hips, down to the feet. One more breath here. Lengthening the spine. Relaxing the heels. We'll make our way to our hands. You can tiptoe, step, or hop. Find a forward fold. On an inhale, halfway lift, crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, folds. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, the hands to the heart. We're going to move into some standing balances. So if you want or need to move to a wall, there's a whole bar system over there that would be great to hang on to for balances. If you want to try it in the middle of the room, let's go. Grounding down through the left foot. We're going to pull the right knee in. I'm going to move this just a smidge this way so I can pull my knee in. We're going to take like we did laying down. Maybe your foot was bent, but we're going to take it from here. Long in the spine, shoulders are drawing back, and we're going to open up the hip. Breathe. From here, we're going to draw the knee back in, cross the ankle over the left knee as we sit back in our one-legged chair. Press back through the hips, press back through that left knee. We're trying to stack it over the ankle, but keep the heart lifted. I found my dristi on the floor. You might be able to take your gaze up, test your balance. Remember to breathe and stick with it. You can fall out and come back in. We're looking for a hip stretch on the outer hip here. One more breath. Next inhale slowly comes up. We're going to take the feet wide, so you might want to turn the width of your mat. Taking the feet wide, bring the hands to the hips. We're going to take our horseshoe hands So you make horseshoes, and we're going to take the thumbs into the crease of the hips. The hands wrap around. So from here, we're going to press back as we fold over so that we can root the thigh bones into the socket, allowing us to maybe fold a little bit deeper. When you're in your fold, release the hands, relax the head. You can shake the head yes and no. A little opening here in the back of the legs. Lift the sit bones high, draw the belly down, the heart towards the floor, and press into the outer edges of the feet. Bringing the hands beneath the face, inhale, halfway lift. From here, we'll take a twist. Your right hand is underneath the face. The left hand comes to the hip. From there, draw the belly up, turn the ribs, turn the chest and heart. Your right hand might come to the small of the back. It might reach up towards the ceiling. Decide what feels best on your shoulder. You can take the gaze up, or maybe look straight ahead or down. You can maybe even play with the hips here and maybe drop the left hip a little more, open up to the right in your twist. As you exhale, unwind, taking the twist on the other side. Halfway lift, right hand stays beneath the face, or opposite hand, turning the chest and belly. Top arm can reach up, maybe look up. Breathe. Again, you can play with dropping the hip as you twist and maybe twist a little deeper. Exhale, slowly release. We're going to bring the hands to the hips, bend the knees, slowly come back up to standing so that we can balance on the opposite side. You can heel toe the feet in, you can jump, however you want to get there. Grounding down into the right foot. We're going to draw the left knee in. Flex the left foot. Hand can be on the hip or maybe on a wall or the bar. Open that hip to the left. Find a focal point, something that's not moving in front of you. Let the spine be long. Draw the shoulders back. Squeeze the scapula, and as you inhale, knee comes back forward. Ankle crosses onto the left knee as we sit back. Notice if balance is different on this side. I'm not going to say to judge it better or worse, just notice the difference. Arms can come out to the side like you're flying. That helps me balance a little bit. They can be at the heart. You can always reach forward. Press the knee back. Keep the heart lifted like a chair pose. One more breath. Then on your inhale, slowly stand up. We're going to go wide once more. Grab our horseshoe hands into the crease. Press the hips back as the heart comes forward. Maybe you find a deeper forward fold. We'll be in our fold for 2 breaths, and then we're going to take a wide leg downward facing dog. On an inhale, halfway lift, we're going to walk the hands forward, and your hands can be on blocks. If you need to bring the floor up, press into the hands, shift the hips back, just like you would in downward facing dog. The heart reaches back towards the thighs. The head and neck are relaxed. On your inhale, slowly walk the hands back towards the feet. Turn the toes out to about 10 and 2, or maybe 11 and 1. Hands come to the hips, knees bend. We're going to come up to goddess pose. So you might walk the feet in some. You want the knees, like in warrior 2, tracking towards the outer pinky toe, sitting down in the seat, lift the heart. So we don't want to sit the seat back like you do in a squat. We're looking more for heart lifted, tailbone pointing down. Hands can be at the hips or at the heart. You can do some work here reaching up. We're all doing work here regardless of where our hands are, to be honest. Our legs are working hard. Press down through the heels. 2 more breaths. Find your intention. Trust the process. Work it through. On your next inhale, straighten the legs, turn the toes forward, and find another forward fold. Maybe bend one knee and then the other. As you halfway lift, bring the toes back towards the midline, finding our traditional Tadasana stance or mountain pose with the hips underneath the feet. Halfway lift on an inhale, refold on an exhale. Inhale reaches up, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Find yourself back at the top of the mat so that we can work our way down to the floor. Setting up the feet, find your foundation in your mountain pose. Activate the legs, draw the shoulders back. Inhale, reaches up. Exhale, heart leads, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you fold, plant the hands, step the left foot and right foot back for downward facing dog. Option to move into a vinyasa or pause here for 2 breaths. On our next inhale, we're going to take the right knee to the right wrist, setting up for pigeon pose. Your right foot is going to be flat on the mat. Maybe your shin is parallel to the mat. If your shin is parallel to the top of the mat, you want to flex that right foot. If your shin is not parallel, let the top of the foot come down onto the mat and press down through the toes so that activates your shins coming inward. You can creep back with the left foot, lower the hips. If you want to stay active in your pigeon pose, keep the left toes tucked and press into that left foot as you draw the right hip back. This is another pose that we tend to just sink into, but you can make it really active and strengthen your hips by drawing the right knee back like you're going to drag it backwards and pressing the left leg like you're going to pull it forward. It works. And if you're tired of being active, let your body sink. Maybe come down onto the forearms, flatten the toes, relax the head and neck. Wherever you are, we'll be here for 4 more breaths. Whenever you're ready, slowly bringing your hands back onto the mat, pressing up. Tuck the back toes, press into the hands, right foot meets the left. You can take the right foot up and back. You can take child's pose to wring out the right leg in any way you need to. We'll make our way onto the left side whenever you're ready. Setting up the same way, left knee meets the left wrist, left toes, point down into the mat, walk the right foot back. Decide if you want to stay active for a bit, pressing into the right toes, drawing the left knee back, heart lifts. And when you've had enough of that, you can always relax down, Let the tension go in the hips. Press down through the top of the left foot. And breathe. We'll be here for 4 more breaths. And whenever you're ready, slowly coming back up to the hands. We'll tuck the toes in the back. Take the left foot to meet the right. Take any movements you might need. Wiggle out the hips, maybe circle the leg. On your next inhale, whenever you're ready, we'll come to hands and knees, setting up for a twist. We're going to take the left hand, turn the fingertips in. From here, we'll take the right hand behind the head. You can lift the arm straight. I like mine bent just because it feels better on my shoulder. As you exhale, we're going to take the right hand underneath the left. Come down onto the right shoulder. Maybe put a block under the head and shoulder if it doesn't meet the mat. Press into the left hand so that you can aid in your own twist. Options to play here. You can try to take the left leg up and back behind you for a balance. Nice. Whenever you're ready to come out of the twist, bring the left leg back down. If it was up, press into the left hand to use that arm to lift out of the twist. Right fingertips come to the right side. Turn the fingertips in. Left hand behind the head as we open up, look up, and exhale. Find a twist, taking the left arm down along the mat. You can press into the right hand to help yourself twist a little bit deeper. You can also play with some balance by maybe taking the right leg up and behind you. Don't forget to breathe. And slowly come out, bringing the right foot down, pressing into the right hand. We're going to make our way onto our seats. Bringing the feet out in front, or the right foot out in front. We're going to set up for Janusirsasana. Your right foot is straight, toes are flexed. Your left foot, that same action we had in pigeon, you want the left foot pressing into the inner thigh or groin almost, and click down on those toes. So press the toes down to help keep the front of the shin activated here on this leg. Your left knee should be coming out of the hip or maybe a little bit behind it, so make any adjustments there. So essentially you might be facing kind of diagonal. We're going to turn and work our twist towards the straight leg. Right hand will come out beside you, left arm reaches up high. Lengthen on that left side so that you can take the left hand and reach to the outer edge of the right leg. Right fingertips are on the mat. Point that elbow up, and as you press into the right fingertips, feel the right ribs draw back. The left leg's ribs might come around a little more for a twist. This gets in the hips. This gets us twisting and forward folding all at the same time. We love to multitask, right? You can even do it in yoga. One more breath here. Slowly coming up on an inhale. We're going to take the right hand inside the right leg. Left shoulder is going to open up towards the left knee, so your chest is essentially facing the left side. Left arm can reach up. You might find a side stretch on the left side by reaching over towards the right foot. It doesn't have to touch it by any means. Or if you have a hard time keeping that left shoulder opened up, reaching, maybe you take the left arm around the low back. That guarantees that that shoulder is not going to fall in. It's going to be opening towards the ceiling. Take the gaze that's comfortable on your neck. And on an inhale, slowly coming back up. We're going to straighten the left leg. You can shake the legs out in between. Roll the ankles while we move to the other side. Left leg is straight. Right foot is tucked in to the left thigh. Toes are facing down. Right knee is with the hip or a little bit behind it. Turn to face the left leg. Left fingertips out, right hand reaches up. Get long on that right side as you reach the right hand towards wherever on the left leg. And again, you can press into the fingertips, point that left elbow up as you press the left ribs back, finding more of a twist. On your next inhale, slowly coming upright. We'll take the left arm inside the left leg. Right shoulder opens up to the right leg. Right arm can reach up and over. Maybe the right arm reaches around the low back. Slowly bringing the right arm back up, undoing our twists and our side bends, shaking out the legs. We'll come into Baddha Konasana next. Soles of the feet together. And again, this is another one that you can make really active by just pressing the feet towards each other. You'll feel the legs fire up. Your hands can come to the shins or maybe the outer edges of the feet. Lift the heart so that you get a nice stretch along the front of the arms. You can stay here, or if you'd like to take a fold, and if you can do so without rounding the back, draw the belly down, the heart forward. You can be here with the hands. You can also just have the hands behind you and just stay sitting up nice and straight. Wherever you are, breathe. Try to relax the knees. Two more breaths. And as you exhale, release the hands. Take the outer edges of the legs, help them in. We're going to come over onto our backs. You can settle the feet, find that constructive rest we started with for just 3 breaths. You can lengthen the legs out. You can curl up in a ball and hang on to your legs for those 3 breaths. It's your choice. Just take a moment here to let the ground, or feel the ground beneath you. Let your body settle in. Coming back to our bridge pose. Whenever you're ready, bend the knees, plant the feet. The feet are still that hip distance apart. Think hip points, not outer edges of the hips. Press down through the inner arches of the feet. Press down through the arms. Inhale, lift the hips. Maybe walk the shoulders underneath.
So inhale, bring the back down to the upper back of the thoracic spine. Lift the chin away from the chest, pressing into the back of the head, pressing over to the mat to help with that. Think about everything from the back of your throat, the palm of the mouth, all the way to the knees. I like what Taylor's doing. If you want to lift one arm down the other, obviously just do one with her, otherwise you're back on the back. But do whatever feels good to you. We'll do here for 5 minutes. Keep engaging the knees. Keep pressing down to the elbows. Work them out from the throat to the knees. And then to the knees, sit bones come down first. And then cross the right ankle over the left knee.
Taking us back to our standing balance. We're just on our backs now. We're going to draw the left knee towards the left shoulder. You can interlace the hands around the left thigh. The right hand will reach in between the legs. The left hand will reach around the outer thigh. Keep both feet flexed to protect the knee joints. Activates the muscles in the shins that helps the knee joints stay engaged. And the closer you draw your left knee to your shoulder, the more you're going to feel this in the outer right hip. As you exhale, bring the left foot to the mat. We're going to take a twist, and you have options here. You can leave the feet exactly as they are, and taking the right foot to the left, you're going to plant the sole of the right foot on the floor while your right knee still faces up. So it'll look just like you are, except your left knee is on the ground. Or you can cross the legs over completely, taking both legs to the left. If that's not comfortable, take the legs uncrossed to the left, where you're still getting the benefit of a twist. Maybe take the gaze over the opposite shoulder to your right. On your inhale, slowly bring the knees back up to center. If the legs are crossed, uncross. We'll take a few windshield wiper twists here. Settle the feet on the outer edges of the mat wide, and as you exhale, take both knees to the right. Inhale to center, take both knees to the left. Move one more time through both sides. On our second round here, after we do the left side, we'll pause for stillness as we do our twists. So there will be time. Drawing the knees back to center, we're going to bring the right heel in line with the right sit bone, cross the left ankle over the right knee, draw the right knee towards the right shoulder, interlace the hands around the right thigh, or maybe the top of the right shin, depending on how much your knee bends. Again, drawing the right knee closer to the body is going to feel more on the outer left hip. Flex both feet and remember to breathe. As you exhale, bring the right foot to the mat. Find the twist that works best for you. The left sole of the foot, the sole of the left foot can reach all the way to the right. You might cross the legs completely and take the twist to the right, or uncross and take the twist. Lots of options. Choose your own adventure. You can also turn your head to the left. Slowly make your way out of the twist, uncross both legs. Separate the feet wide. We'll take the knees to the left this time. Option here to stay just with the knees dropped to the left, or maybe take the left ankle on top of the right knee as you feel a little pressure pulling on that right side. Taking it to the opposite side, knees come through the center. As you exhale, take both knees to the right. Maybe place the right ankle on top of the left knee. Slowly coming back to center. Finding any poses that you might have missed during your practice, or going straight to Shavasana. You can settle on your mat. That might be with the knees knocked in on each other, feet wide. That could be on your backs. It could be on your side or on your belly. There are many ways for you to take Shavasana. You just decide what way works best for you. Take the hands wide so that your lungs have room to breathe. Relax the face. Feel the shoulders soften. Let the belly and breath go. Let the hips sink. And trust that you're supported right where you are. For those of you at home, if you'd like to stay in Shavasana, feel free to continue to rest. For those of you here in the room, I sadly did not leave time for a long Shavasana. So whenever you're ready to deepen the breath, bring the inhale in. Feel it travel to the fingers and toes. Maybe start movements there. You can roll the wrists and ankles, or gently turn the head side to side. Maybe you draw the knees into the chest for one more hug, or you might take another full body stretch before making your way onto your favorite side. Rest there for a moment. Revisit your intention. And then whenever you're ready, make your way to a comfortable seat. Sitting up tall one last time together. Draw the crown of the head up. Inhale, take the hands up, maybe look up. And as you exhale, take all the energy you gathered in class down into the heart so you can carry it with you this week. Thank you all so much for showing up. Thank yourselves for showing up, and have a very great week.